Our mind is teachable because it utilizes the brain, which is infinitely programmable. If you are willing to practice sufficiently, you can teach this brain literally anything.
Whatever be our profession, work, or craft, we all aspire to become expert in it and do it to the best of our ability. Hence, it will be extremely helpful for us to understand the process of learning and the pathway to mastery. This was the year 1924. A hotel room had been divided into two. On one side were 26 players. On the other side was one Russian Grandmaster, Alexander Alekhine. These players were all playing Alexander Alekhine together. The only difference was they all could see their pieces on their chessboards, while Alekhine could see none. Every time a player made a move, a runner would come up to him and inform him that on this board, this piece has been moved from such and such square to such and such square. Alexander Alekhine would write out his response, and the runner would go and make that move. This display of blindfold chess went on for 12 hours at a stretch, with only a short dinner break in between. Alekhine made no notes. He had no references. He was keeping 26 boards, 832 pieces, 1664 squares in his mind at the same time. When it finally ended, he had won 16 of those games, lost 5, and drawn 5 in the best display of blindfold chess ever. How did he develop this tremendous ability? It all started when he was a school student. He would take chess problems to school. He could not take the board, so he would write out the problem or take it in his mind and keep working on it until the day came when he could play a whole game without looking. He realized he had the talent and ability to be one of the best players in the world. In 1914, alongside with many other grandmasters, he was in Berlin for a tournament when Germany declared war on France and Russia, and these chess grandmasters were arrested. How to pass the time? They started playing blindfold chess with each other. Subsequently, when he was released and returned to Russia, he joined the Red Cross. On the battleground, he was injured by the Austrian army, and he was arrested and taken by them. Since his back had been hurt, they tied him up to the bed. What to do now? Again, he continued playing blindfold chess. After the war was over, in 1921, he emigrated to France. He needed money to take care of himself, and as a way of earning, he started giving demonstration games of blindfold chess, playing many opponents together, until the game of 1924, when he set the world record with 26 opponents. Subsequently, from 1927 to 1946, for 20 years at a stretch with a tiny break, he reigned as the world chess champion, and he is ranked as one of the top 10 chess players in history. Having read and heard about this, set me wondering, how is it that chess grandmasters can keep full games in their mind? The answer is,
our mind is teachable because it utilizes the brain, which is infinitely programmable. You have all heard of the German musician Mozart. So Mozart was such a child prodigy that at the age of 4, he was composing music. And at the age of 7, he undertook a tour of Europe where he thrilled audiences because he was hardly visible above the harpsichord and he was playing like people had never heard. And Mozart had another trick up his sleeve. He had the ability called absolute pitch. Absolute pitch is the ability to hear a note and identify it. This is A sharp, this is C minor, without any reference scale. Now that is not easy. So it is said 1 out of 5,000 people have the ability for absolute pitch. Their brains are so configured. And it is such a talent that either you have it, you are born with it, or you're not born with it. Beethoven, the other famous German musician, did not have it. So not even world-class musicians possess absolute pitch, but Mozart did. So is it a God-given ability? Seems like. However, in the year 2012, a Japanese teacher called Ayako Sakakibara of the Ichiongai Music School went about disproving this. She gathered 24 children and said, I will help you develop absolute pitch. The children from the ages of 2 to 6, those 24 children were requested, we need just 4 to 5 minutes of your time 5 times a day. So 5 times a day they would have to practice. They would be given a note to recognize and a reference scale. The consequence was at the end of 55 weeks, 22 out of the 24 children developed absolute pitch. Where 1 out of 5,000 in the world have this ability, here 24 children picked out from school had a success rate of 22 out of 24. How do you explain this? And the 2 who could not develop absolute pitch were the 2 who had dropped out of the course. So it was actually 100% success rate. That goes to show that this brain can be trained. It has got these 100 billion neurons that can wire together to create trillions of circuits, providing you with musical intelligence, mathematical intelligence, visual intelligence, verbal intelligence. It's just a question of practice, 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 and the neurons that fire together, they wire together. Now, why are little children able to pick it up so quickly? The reason is that the little children have less neurons than the adults. The neurons keep increasing till the age of 12. After that, there is no increase in neurons. But the little children have got far more axons than the adults, which connect the neurons, which enable the formation of circuits. And that is why the grasping ability of a little child is so immense. Between the ages of 3 to 4, a child picks up a language in a year's time just by hearing. Now you as an adult try and do that. It will be not an easy feat, because those additional axons have disappeared. So children are able to develop this absolute pitch. Anybody can be trained for it. In fact, after this experiment study was announced, adults said that we will also try to develop. Of course, they could not do it in 55 weeks, maybe they did it in 5.5 years, but subsequently many adults announced that I have also developed it. This is the infinite teachability of this human brain. If you are willing to practice sufficiently, you can teach this brain literally anything. And that applies to the spiritual realm as well. So Lord Krishna says, Abhyas. Maharshi Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra, he says the same thing. Abhyas vairagyabhyam tannirodhaha. Look, practice, practice, practice. Kripaluji Maharaj said, look, if you wish to do Rup Dhyan meditation and first day you can only succeed for 1 minute out of 10, don't worry, keep on practicing. After 1 week, you will be doing 2 minutes out of 10. After 2 weeks, you will be doing 3 minutes out of 10. And after 5 weeks, you will be succeeding in meditating 5 minutes out of 10. And once you have reached the 50% limit, then after that, it's so easy. The mind then naturally goes to God. So, this brings us to the ability of the brain to be programmed. And that enables us to create habits.